Hello. How are we all doing? Hello Boris. Yes, apologies for time zones and all that. I'm sure I can do some earlier streams at some point in the future, but thank you for popping in. Yes. And hello everybody else. How are you all doing? What onion is good for... any onion is good. Onion is good friend. We do indeed have the squirrel helmet of bitchin' stats. That is what it is called in our inventory. Well, shop. It's called Shobs, anyway, and I've got to remember what that is, but I'm sure you'll remind me. Hello, Gosenberg, how you doing? Hello, Plamps, Kiro, Chibi, Trifles, Weird. Lots of good friends. Emily's here. All VOD people are wonderful. Yes, hello, VOD people. For there are, I believe, many today. Oobs, Crow, more than I can remember. Oh, there it is. It didn't turn... Oh, Cripsy, yeah. Who are you? Yes, you, Emily, yes. I saw you there. You were the first person to write in chat, so... Yeah, I pay attention. Typo strikes again. That sounds like a villain, doesn't it? Typo. Or like the assistant to a villain. He filled in the paperwork incorrectly. So, how are we all doing? Welcome to the second stream. Before we begin, purely out of courtesy, I wish to give thanks to Adrian von Ziegler, whose music is currently playing in the background. They have a video on YouTube of nice background fantasy music, and they do say in the comments that if you want to use it in Twitch streams or YouTube or whatever, then a sufficient payment is for a shout out. So yeah, Adrian von Ziegler, good stuff. I think one of you put me onto their stuff. I can't remember who it was. Was it Kiro maybe? Try? Not sure. Post their name in chat. Yes, sure. Okay, can do. That's the thing. Let me spell it correctly. That'll be great. Boom. Adrian von Ziegler. I just wanted to... You know, I'm sure plenty of people have used these things without actually shouting at the person who makes the music, but as someone who makes music, it's nice. It's nice to get recognition for these sorts of things. So yeah, Adrian von Ziegler. Well done then. So yeah, wouldn't have gotten that, yes. Chimps monks, indeed, yes. Hello. How are you doing? So, I don't know whether anybody's new. We've only done one of these so far, kind of. We designed a character for the first part, but we've done one stream of the actual adventure itself. The basic idea is we have a character called Pal, a little goblin friend with a recorder. They are on a journey. That's not a word, is it? A journey to. That's what I meant. A journey to attempt to reconcile the warring factions of dwarves by retrieving a hammer that was stolen by an eagle and then split apart by a couple of goblins. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I can do a little recap before we continue, but the basic idea is this. We have the Forest of Doom book, which for some reason is under another book right now. You will be playing through it via the voting system in chat. You made it. Hello, Octo. How you doing? You will be playing it, as I will give you choices. You're more than welcome to deviate from those choices. Improvisation is welcomed. I will do my best to incorporate it. As is backtracking, I will be keeping a map of the whole thing. You're welcome to go back to places you have visited before, or crossroads that you went one way, you want to go the other, so long as it makes sense. I think the voting system is active at the moment. I don't know whether anything's going to pop up, but... yeah, there it is. Thank you very much for trying. It is there. Yes. And what's happened so far? Well, let's swap over to the thing so that we can actually see what we're doing and how it's been going. Also, yes, good art by Miss. I literally just caught it before I started the streaming. Miss does very cool art. I wasn't expecting a second one, so I had to very quickly hurry it together. Check out their Twitter. I think it's at Just Miss Art, I think. Something like that. I'm sure somebody can correct me if I'm incorrect. Yes. Number one trending vote. Yes, it's joint number one with Dab now, so... I'm as good as Dab, which is slightly damning. So, let's move on to the actual stream itself. Let me just sort things out, that'd be great. Trying to optimize things a little bit. So, where are we? Bingo bong. Here we are. Fighting fantasy. You're a bit grumpy because you got mobbed by mosquitoes and horseflies. Yeah. This is why I like to keep little spiders in my room, because they make little cobwebs that I can't see, and then when all the mosquitoes come out, they just, boom, feast for them. So we're doing Fighting Fantasy, not Final Fantasy, we finished that. And what's happened so far? Well, this is Pal. This is our protagonist. They seem pleasant enough. So they were just sort of happily wandering around doing adventuring and all that sort of stuff. And then all of a sudden, thud, a dwarf died next to them. But not quite, because they told the story of their clan, and apparently a hammer was stolen by an eagle. And then it was dropped into the woods and never seen again, and now the dwarves are angry and warring against each other, despite the fact that something's going to come along and try and kill them all. This was Big Leg, by the way. He didn't make it. But nonetheless, Pal decides to take up the reins of the adventure and try and help out the dwarves and possibly, have some fun along the way, annoy some squirrels. Who knows? We began by going to the Tower of Yestromo, who's somebody in a very large hat, and we ended up buying a bunch of stuff. We bought a potion of plant control, potion of anti-poison, boots of leaping, rod of water finding, holy water, and rope of climbing. We are welcome to come back here when it makes sense to do, if you want to buy anything else, but that's what we got for the moment. We have 16 gold left. From there, we this is the inspiration for Mrs. Art, my inability to tell east from west, which will be a recurring thing. And then there were some more places to go. We eventually found a house in the woods. Turns out there was a nice old lady and somebody with a hunchback in there. Pal decided to serenade them with the recorder. It didn't work out because she was, in fact, not a nice lady. She was an evil lady. Dun dun dun. That's drama. That's how I do drama. And so Pal ran away before anything bad could happen. That's the other thing you're allowed to do. You're allowed to run away. Because Pal's small and a bard. And I imagine bards are quite good at running away. Mainly from my Final Fantasy IV experience. Pal, squirrel botherer. That's pretty accurate, yes. So, yep, you ran away, and instead you found a hole in a tree at head height, decided to throw some stones in it, annoyed a squirrel in the process, but you did find, or Pal, sorry, did find a helmet, and that helmet increases your fighting ability in battle. It effectively increases your skill by 1 when rolling for saves and attacks and things like that, which we haven't gotten to yet, but we'll reach that bridge when we come to the water under the crossing. So yeah, and that's as far as we got. We have a helmet and annoyed a squirrel and ran away from an evil woman. We continue. And what do we continue with? We continue with... Luckily, I can use this one from before. We come to a crossroads. Yes, that's how we begin this. We headed north. I should probably show you the map and where we've come. So this is our map. We started on Yestromo's Tower. We're trying to get up to Stonebridge in the north. And we started at a crossroads. We went west. That's that one. Then went north to the hut. Carried on north to the squirrel. And now we've come to yet another crossroads. So we begin with a simple vote, which is east or west. Let me set the thing up. Ooh, look. Bingo bongo, that should be there. Now I can open this. East or west? Oh, I was going to change the font, wasn't I? Whoops. Oh, I can do that. I didn't know that was a thing. So yeah, east or west. If you, to vote, if you don't already know, you type !vote followed by a space followed by whatever your answer is. You're welcome to change your vote at any given time. I've set up the system so you can. Vote sleep. I mean, lost 1 stamina from being bitten by a squirrel. It might not necessarily be the best thing to do. You can also, sorry, I forgot to mention this, you can also take any point of time to take a rest, have a loaf of bread, heal up 4 stamina points, I believe it is. You have 10 loaves of bread at the moment. I don't know why we settled on loaves of bread, but there we are. Yeah, we can also go back at any point to any location we've been to before. I should probably name these sorts of crossroads so that if do you want to go back to this crossroad or this crossroad or whatever? I don't know. So what have we got so far? We have 4 votes for east, 2 for west, 1 for Sleeb, and 1 for west side. think only one of those was actually an option. I said improvisation was welcome, didn't I? Oh, by the way, tell me if the music is too loud or too quiet. I don't know. My setup is slightly different to the way it usually is, so it might be very quiet. It's quiet. I can turn it up a little bit. Okay, there we go. It's very low music as it is at the moment. So, people voting Weast are monsters. It's 3 for Weast. I don't really know what Weast is. That's the other thing I should say, is that because this game tries to force you in one direction, it doesn't let you go south, because it wants to just keep you going north. But we've already said that we can backtrack, and that's absolutely fine. We're not in any rush. This adventure is not based on time. So I've actually had to go through probably like the first third of the entire game to work out what would be south if you want to go there. Like, you literally get to a crossroads and it goes, there's a crossroads at south or north, and you decide not to go south, so you just go north, and it's like, no, give me the choice. So hopefully, yeah. What have we got? 3 east, 3 west, 2 west side. I suppose west is essentially a neutral vote, so east wins, I guess. East is that way, isn't it? Cool. So we decided to go east this time, rather than west. Oopsie doodle. Also, I haven't drawn anything today, so... Which does also mean there's not going to be a Foggate comic tomorrow, but I'll release the Outliers one that was in chat ages ago. Okay, so we decided to go east. Let's see what is east. Where is east? 277. Marvellous. I'll draw this on the map in a second. Right. Hang on a minute. Just checking a thing. Give me a second. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Right. What is east? The path continues east for some distance and then turns sharply northly sharp north, narrowing slightly. The trees seem to crowd in on the path even more than usual, and a tingling down Pal's spine tells them that something's not quite right. Suddenly, a branch from one of the trees to their right whips out and knocks them to the ground. They lose 1 stamina point. Seems unfair. But it's the Forest of Doom, it's not the Forest of Pleasant Times, is it? Pal staggers to their feet to see that the tree has in fact moved into the middle of the path and is now blocking their way. The tree is old with thick cracked bark, and they can just about make hidden eyes and a mouth in the middle of the trunk and realise that they have been attacked by a tree man. What do you want to do? It's up to you. What do you want to do? New vote. What do? Use cut. I don't think you have any Pokemon that have cut. So let me just mark this on the map. What is that? There's nothing on that layer. It's fine. Oh no, that's numbers. Oh, the numbers have disappeared. That's fine. I have a subsidiary map flowchart thing. It was east-west, wasn't it? It's a little road sign. We decided to go east, which is this way, because I'm smart. Which then sharply turns north. And we're attacked by a tree man. This is what trees look like, isn't it? Right, I better draw a tree man. Or tree woman. Heaven knows this is the 21st century. Oh, I cannot spell tree, it seems. There we are. Right, let's draw a tree man. How do you do that? You draw a tree first, I imagine. It's probably the first step. Maybe some sort of nice spirally sort of woody things, kind of a knot or something. They don't seem at all pleasant, these, this tree person, anyway. I mean, they hit you and took one... Oh, yeah, they took a point of stamina away. I better sort that out before I forget. Bing bong. Fantastic. And then refresh the overlay. That's so. Yeah, it updates. Marvellous. When did we lose a luck? Oh, yeah, the woman was evil, so we lost the luck. They always have, like, big roots for feet. I like the idea of this one. It's just tiny feet. Actually, no. Trees are rarely symmetrical, are they? This is not great for the first drawing of the day, but here we are. This is what I've drawn, so take it or leave it. Please don't leave it. Music's quite loud now, is it? Well, no, my headphones are quite loud. But do let me know. The great thing about trees is that you don't really have to worry too much about hand anatomy. Or indeed whether or not the fingers split at the ends. Ooh, to symmetry. This is not a good drawing, but here we are. Here's a... Here's bonsai tree man. Right. Need to do something to make up for this drawing. Trees is just squiggly lines, indeed they are. I don't really want to go that way, do I? I want to try and kill us around. It's generally down, isn't it, bark? Okay, you get the idea. What is the vote results? We have 4 for Potion of Plant Control, or Potion of Control Plant. 2 for a Recorder Solo, that worked out so well for us last time. And 1 for Burn the MFer Down. Well, we do indeed have a Potion of Plant Control. So let's do that, shall we? 1 second. There's the thing. So here's the question. We're going to use a Potion of Plant Control. What are we going to do to control it? Or indeed, how does this thing work? Okay, just so I know. Vote Bonsai Tree for an animal handling. So we control the big boy with the potion and take the bonsai friend with us. I mean, they might not be a friend. They might just constantly like jam splinters into your hand or something like that. And who knows how long the potion's going to last. Yeah? Okay, so you use the Potion of Plant Control. Or Pal uses the Potion of Plant Control. Yeah, what indeed does it do? What does it want to do? Does it want to tell the plant to just walk off and have fun, or tell it to jump off a nearby cliff, or demolish itself? The baby's clearly a friend. I mean, clowns have smiles. Hello, Oobs, how you doing? Welcome. We got attacked by a tree man and a bonsai tree man. Tell it to go do good deeds in the world elsewhere and get off our path. I mean, that kind of works. Okay, so you swig the Potion of Plant Control. Or Pal does, indeed. And, you know, being the seemingly kind person that they are, they say, you know, you're a big strong tree. You certainly knocked me for 6. when I just came through here. Why don't you try and use that strength, go out and help a little village or something? I hear there are some dwarves up north. I hear they're in need of some assistance. They're in a bit of turmoil. Why don't you go and, you know, join in civilized society and have a nice time. And the tree man just sort of slowly turns around, creaking, and just plods up the path off into the distance, and soon is lost in the myriad of other static trees, hopefully. And the little bonsai tree runs behind him because you couldn't control him. You can only control one plant. It's a plant control, not plants control. But a little bonsai tree seems happy enough. Probably it's what the bonsai tree always wanted, was to actually go and help people. So yeah, it just sort of... yeah, it just sort of wanders off into the distance. See if I can remember how to draw PAL. So this is the problem with you guys all doing really good art of this character. It's like, I also have to draw them. And very quickly, and... yeah, you're making me look bad. On the plus side, you're making yourselves look good, because you are. And also on the plus side, he wears a long coat. Or they wear a long coat. My apologies. Hang on. There's a helmet involved here, isn't there? Got to draw the helmet. Almost forgot to draw the helmet. So they're going over the ears and round the back. It's conveniently shaped for a goblin. It's surprising, really. Then again, it is enchanted, so it's not particularly surprising. It's also getting used to drawing different proportions as well. I'm not entirely used to that. Have I mentioned that I haven't drawn anything today? It's a bad idea. If you're going to do drawing streams, you should probably, you know, do a bit of drawing. Do a little bit of drawing beforehand. Just, you know, warm up for it. Would be nice. Courteous, I think, to your guests. And you're holding the bottle, which looks like wiggly thing like this. And yeah, just off into the tree distance. The tree man walks. Very difficult to do perspective when the limbs are different sizes, but here we are. People's got a hole in the back of them, so why not? And the little tree fringes. Overjoyed to be following. Is that how perspective works? Like that. And Power waves them goodbye, and hopefully they have some fun times helping out some people rather than getting angry at people just wandering through the forest. And maybe, you know, maybe they can find some people of their own kind who they might be able to form bonds with in some respect. It's difficult because they reproduce asexually, but other than Throw a torch before they get away. You don't have a lit torch. It's going to be a while to get one of those up and running. But yeah. So you've used your potion of plant control. But yeah, no, Pal seems happy with this turn of events. All worked out well in the end, even though they did get hurt a little bit. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. That'll do, I think. Yeah. That is how hands work, isn't it? Yeah. Also claws. Don't really need all this detail, but one detail we do need though. Need that recorder in there somewhere, and more pockets. Okay, cool. So we did a thing. Hello. Allow. Bingo. Right. That was nice. Just to let you know that is not an option in the book for some reason, but well done for thinking of it. Cool. So you've used your potion of plant control. There it goes. Goodbye. You can always go back and get another one if you want. Right. Bingo bongo. Disappeared. Ha! It's like magic. You like how a tree and a squirrel did the same amount of damage. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the tree wasn't actually fighting you. It was just like, boom, get away, you know. It probably would have been happy if you just run in the other direction. Yeah, the devil on Pal's shoulder. I imagine half of you are. So yeah, you now have the path north if you wish to go that direction, or you can backtrack to a previous location. It's now up to you. The tree man is all done. Pal off to have new and exciting adventures of their own. It's very nice. You just had a work conversation. Seems like we done did it. Yes, the tree has gone off and done its own thing. It's been happy. There it is. They're off. So yeah, we now have the options. I now need to look through all of this stuff to actually work out what page we should be on, because I made up most of that. But again, it makes sense. If you can improvise and it makes sense, good on you. Give me a second. Okay, to the north, Pal notices that the trees are starting to thin out, so you are actually getting towards the end of the denser part of the forest. And you're coming out to sort of open plain, or Pal is coming out to a sort of open plain area. Sorry, I have to translate between you and they. Apologies for any slip-ups. Okay, are we going to continue north? Pal is you? No, yes, but I would like to try and... So just a quick vote. North? Yeah, everyone fine with north? Or we can go back again. Let's have a look at the map. That's where we are. I could probably shrink that a bit, can't I? Again, I don't really know where the layout of all these things are, kind of just yet, but I think we're all right. Because we have this crossroad, which we didn't go west. That crossroad we didn't go west, and that crossroad we didn't go east. I'm sure there are plenty of winding paths and loops and things that we can have. We have 3 votes for north. 1 vote for north, also north. 1 for northwards, and another one for more north. So it's a bit excessive, isn't it? Let's go north. We continue north. Northwards we go. Northwards ho. Is this... I can't remember what page I was supposed to go to. 1 second, let me just sort this out. It's fine, I'm just an idiot. It's like I got the page, I bookmarked the page and everything, and then I remembered, oh yeah, there are like 6 passages on each page. Which one of these was it? Shouldn't be far away, it's alright. Ah, here we are. Okay, it is that one. We're fine. When do we get to Icewind Dale? I don't know. Different book, I think. Northeast. The Northeast. Okay, we continue north. Well, in that case... as I said, Pal continues through the forest. The forest begins to thin. Daylight is starting to appear through the trees either side, as it's no longer the dark and gloomy part of the forest. Soon the path leads out and onto a large plain. We're out of the forest, it seems, or at least in a big plain in the middle of it. And there's tall grass all over the place. After the grass, you see lots of low hills, and there's also a new branch off to the east. So you can either continue going north through the long grass, or you can go east somewhere else. Yet another crossroads. I will have to change things. Things do happen in this book. You seem to have just come across like a series of crossroads without actually having anything in between. So I feel a bit bad. Sleep is good. Sleep is good. That is the thing. Pokemon. I don't think you got a potion of creature control. So this is interesting. I did a lot of sort of preparation in the sort of earlier phases of this book in order to understand where you want to go if you want to go south. So that, you know, we don't get lost and I have to sit here for 15 minutes working out where to go through the book. You have, within the first half an hour of this stream, now gone beyond the bounds of my understanding, so that's pretty cool. This book likes crossroads and also north. Yeah. Like super north. Sorry, just making notes of what we've done, so if we come back here, I know that we don't have to do that again. Though there is an east in there, but there's lots of norths. North, Pokemon, this book likes crossroads and also north, like super north. Seriously. Oh, I love it. I feel like the walk through the tall grass to continue north is scary. I mean, who knows what's in the tall grass? This is the Forest of Doom, by the way. Weast. Oh, there's another Weast in there. It's so cold outside of bed. We'll stay in bed then. As much as you can, anyway. What if there's snakes? There might be snakes. Right, what have we got? We have 2 votes for North, 1 for Pokemon, 1 for the book likes crossroads and also North. Remember that vote. Remember it. 1 for like Super North, 1 for East, and 1 for Weast. We keep getting 1 hit stamina points for some prize attacks. That is the thing, yeah. Just gonna have little snakes nibbling your toes. But you got boots on, so it's fine. Okay, we can head north. Let me remind myself we're gonna go north. Cool. This is why I wanted you to remember the thing. You walk north into the high grass. As you walk through it, as Pal walks through the grass, it gets higher and higher and higher until it's sort of about up to shoulder length. You can still see over it, but it's very, very tall at this point. But as you start to do so, you see a sort of cutting through the grass that continues off to the west, or you can keep travelling north. It's up to you. What do you want to do? Do you want to follow the cutting to the west? Or do you want to keep travelling north? This is why I said crossroads. So many crossroads. Another one! I know! There are things in this game, I promise you. You just keep missing them. Yeah, I go north or west? Fuck crossroads and more north. I should make a map of all this stuff, really, shouldn't I? So we got here. We're now in the. So this is sort of the edge of the forest. We're now into some plains. There was a path to the east, if I recall, which we didn't go down. And then we carried on north into some long grass. There is now a crossroads to the west. That's east and west, yeah? I think that's true. I think that's how it works. I may need to extend my map slightly. Alas, in your travels through the tall grass, you have yet to find any friends or enemies, so who knows? Sell soul to devil for sick recorder skills. The devil's not around. And then I think Pal's quite happy just practicing, getting better at it slowly but surely. Alright, so we're in the tall grass. Very tall grass. It actually says waist high in the book, but we're playing a goblin, so that's going to be even taller. What do we got? We have 2 for Fuck Crossroads more north, 1 for Smek, of course, 1 for Tall Grass Friends, we have 1 for west, 1 for Sell Soul to Devil for sick recorder skills, and 1 for north. I think that's the north again. We're going to keep travelling north. Come hell or high grass. Oh, hello, I've done that on the wrong layer. That's great. Cool. Marvellous. Layers are fun. I mean, they're great, don't get me wrong, but they're fun. Okay, we continue north. I'm moving the face, yeah. Let me just keep track of the numbers. Just so I recall. This is 180. Can't remember for the life of me what the one before that was, but that should be fine. It's okay, don't worry about it. Actually, I think I do know what it was. Yes, okay, sorry. That's 3, 2, 9. Just for personal predilection, if we decide to go back. So let's have a look. Seems like part of the map instead of an indicator since it's the same colour style, so you were confused. Cool. Okay, I can... Yeah. That would make more sense to be green, I suppose. Yeah. Carry on north. What are we doing? We're playing The Forest of Doom, the fighting fantasy book, and by we, I mean you, via the voting system. You have decided to continue going north, because that's all we've done so far. We've sent a tree man off to have a better life, and now we're just travelling north through some grass. Cool, so we go north. Which is this way. It's something other than the crossroads. Who would have thought? You continue travelling through the very, very, very tall grass. Hang on a minute, just want to make sure I did actually go to the right page. Yep, it's cool. You carry on travelling through the tall grass. It's very tall. You can barely see any... We certainly can't see anything in the grass. But you can kind of see where you're going. It's fine. Vote and meet Santa Claus. Again, you got to find him. It's like the devil. They might be together. Who knows? But as you're going through, you start to actually see some life, and you see some large birds. And by you, I mean Pal. See some large birds circling around. The closer you get, the closer they seem to resemble vultures. Do you want to go and see what the vultures are circling around? You can't really see at the moment because you're in high grass, but you can if you so desire. Otherwise, you can continue north. And I know how much you like north. Yes. What is the vote? North or vultures? I mean, eventually something's got to happen in this, yeah? We've eventually got to see something happening. Okay, 1 second. Down here. That's just updating the map. So there's the path north if you wish to continue, or I think it was off to the right. Means we have some birds. How do you draw vultures? close enough. I might as well actually draw it properly. Page wheel. I bet I drew that on the wrong layer as well. Oh no, I did the right layer. Right. You're cautious? I mean, you should be. This is the Forest of Doom. What do we got? We have 3 votes for sneak up to the vultures. That's probably a good idea. 1 vote for vulture cuddle pile. 1 for shoebirds. 1 for meet the meat birds. Meet the meat. I'm disappointed there isn't any vote that's like carry on to meet the birds. I don't know. And 1 for investigate, which is just very succinct. Right. Seems like we're going to go and say hello to some vultures. Or at least what they're circling around. Cool. Okay, so you very slowly, or Pal very cautiously wades through the grass, just basically shrinks themselves down a foot and is now completely submerged, and attempts to see where they're going. Sort of difficult to hide from vultures who have literally a bird's eye view, but there we are. But as you get closer, as you start approaching the bit where the vultures are circling, you start to hear a low moan. You continually look up at the vultures just in case, and you see that they are waiting. They're not approaching, they're just circling around and round. Pal steps a little bit closer, and you start to see, in a little clearing in the tall grass, what do you see? Yeah, you see the ugly sight of a huge man with muscles like knotted iron staked to the ground. His arms and legs are tied to 4 large wooden pegs driven deep into the ground. The man is naked except for a small loincloth, thank God, and his skin is badly blistered from the sun. His face and chest show the bloodied signs of cruel torture. His captors have not gained the information they sought because he is a barbarian. What do you want to do? You found a barbarian staked to the ground and just sort of left to die. Which I now have to draw. Hurrah! Hang on, what page was this? Just so I know. Just so I know. So to go this way, say hello to the barbarian. Right. Right at all. Give me some time. I need to settle into drawing. It's been a while. Give me a second. Everything's grand. Everything's good. Don't worry about me. I'm hungry for food. What? I said large stakes, yeah? Oops. Let's do this, just make my life a little bit easier. What do barbarians look like? I don't really know. Probably a beard involved somewhere. Beardbarian. Muscles like skewed iron or whatever it was. Wow, that's a lot of votes we got going on there. I've already extended the length of that thing. I'm trying to remember what Conan looks like. There was a headband involved somewhere, I think. Probably some hair. This is how mouths work, isn't it? I hate drawing mouths from the side. That's great. Oh, hang on. I can do this. There we go. Cheat. Gentle forehead smooch. You're suspicious, but also muscle friend. Yeah, I mean, you can't make friends. I mean, clearly this character hasn't made friends of their own so far. And you're not exactly the strongest. So, despite your Shob's hat. Completely naked except the loincloth, so there are nipples involved. Apologies, Twitch terms of service. There's probably some chest hair. It did specify man, so... Don't really know what is envisaged in a loincloth. I also don't know enough about human anatomy to be able to do this accurately. My apologies to anyone who does know human anatomy. This is not what it is. Whoops. That's far too long. Even I know that. And yet, nonetheless, I drew it anyway. So here we are. That's not the right thing. Go away, text. You're on the floor, matey. You're on the floor. Sorry, I'm not reading chat very much, am I? More blisters? What? There are nipples involved. That is, yeah. I mean, I don't really want to think of the alternative. This is how perspective works. I know how to draw. This is how perspective works. Come and hear me roar. Ah, like that. That's how I do it. It's been an odd day. There's another one over here. Four fingers. That's how hands work. That's not how thumbs work. There's the other one. Don't know why I'm spending quite so much time on this, but here we are. There's just a loincloth, and then some legs. Muscles like sinew and whatever it was, iron, so particularly strong buttocks. Just there. I didn't write the book. Don't come complaining to me. He's a satyr, apparently. I should have planned this out before I actually started doing it. he's got feet somewhere. Ah, that's wrong thing again. This is going exceptionally well. I'm glad you're all entertaining yourselves in chat, because this is not entertainment. At the very least with the Final Fantasy VII one, I kind of knew what it was I had to think about drawing at some point. Didn't see this coming. And yet here we are. See, now that's too long, is it? I don't know. Anatomy. Don't fail me. I'll tell you what, just in general. The muscly fellow. Things need to pop out more like that. A bit better. There's another foot there somewhere, roughly. He's so strong and powerful that he takes up more of the screen than he should. Whoops. You get the idea, I think. You get the idea. And never forget the swans that are flying overhead, apparently. Everything? No, that's a turkey. Vultures are weird. I don't know. Flamingos. Flamingo is flying overhead. Yeah, it's unexpected, but you know, it's in there. If you read the subtext, it's all there. This is all taking place in a garden lawn. Right, what are the votes indeed? Ask about pants. What? Right, we have Ask About Pants has 2 votes apparently. Put Him Out of His Misery has 1. Chat has 1. Meet the Meat Birds has 1. Poke with a Stick has 1. Apply sunscreen to the rippling muscles. I don't think you have any in your inventory. Give bread. That's nice. Move along. Nothing to see here. Or gentle forehead smooch. I think in general, sort of get close and be nice seems to be the. Oh, hang on. Chat has gone up now. I think, yeah, in general, yeah. See how they're doing seems to be the one that wins out. So, let's have a look. Let's have a look and see what happens. What is indeed happening here? Pal gets close, and the barbarian is just screaming. Just a non-stop screaming. Just can't get any kind of conversation out of it. Not even a small recorder solo can soothe the pain of this person who's just been left out into the sun for so long. They're just blind with pain and anguish. If you're suffering, we have a moral imperative to murder. Yes. Did we get a potion of healing? We did not. So that's a thing. So yeah, he's just he doesn't respond in any sort of. Yeah, the barbarian is like that, just constantly. Do you want to try and do something to help him? Do you want to just leave him be? Do you want to cut him free? What do you want to do? Talking did nothing. Because he's just, I suppose possibly a barbarian might even not know how to talk. I don't know. Bread on a dry throat. Probably not a good idea. This person hasn't had water for a while. You gotta go catch a bus? Oh, well, have fun on the bus. For a proxy vote. Gently smooch him and slit his throat. What a strange abattoir. Oh yeah, sorry. I should reset the vote, shouldn't I? Boom. That should update in approximately 3 seconds. There we are. So yeah, I just put help him or leave, but again, improvisation is worthwhile. Reminding me a little bit of Brian from Ninja Sex Party here. What I'm going to do, right, is I'm going to do this. Let's do that a little better. Turns out drawing an A, slightly more difficult than you might have expected, but here we are. I'm going to do one of those, make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to do it again, make it a little bit smaller. Again. Again, slightly bigger. I'm going to do it again. One more for the road. That. This one. That way. A bit smaller. That. Possibly a bit too much. You get the idea, I'm sure. Right, what have we got? We have 2 votes for remove 1 stake. 1 for help him up, 1 for please help, and 1 for morally justified murder. Which is nice. He scream. He does a lot of. He scram. Scram is a big thing. Which stake? Do you want to do one of the arms or one of the feet? You don't have to vote for this. Just talk about it in chat. So Pal decides, you know, this person might possibly have gone mad. Might be dangerous. Who knows? We'll tentatively test the waters, and so they sort of creep up and just undo one of the stakes. You can only be this savage because you're sure everyone else will override you. One day that's going to backfire. Who knows? I'm going to go arm, left hand, arm. So yeah, one of the arms. The one in his heart. There isn't one in his heart yet. Okay, what's the page I'm on here? Oh, okay, cool, interesting. Leg removing an arm means he can free himself. You're basically saying left because it's statistically more likely that'll be his non-dominant arm, therefore less strangely. So we're all saying arm, generally speaking, apart from Boris, who's saying leg. Apologies. Oh, strangely. Got it. Cool. I was wondering what you meant by strangely. Twitch chat. It's impossible to type correctly. And you can't edit it, can you? It's live. It's so unfair. Right. So, Pal creeps up very slowly. He's still screaming, constant screaming. You're surprised you didn't hear this as you were approaching, to be honest. It was a low moan as you were approaching. It's now screaming. And Pal gently, slowly undoes one of the stakes. To your surprise, the barbarian doesn't... To their surprise, sorry, the barbarian doesn't sort of yank it away. It's just sort of very softly and kind of lays there. Pal doesn't kind of know what to do. All of a sudden, the barbarian just stops screaming and looks at Pal in a very unnerving way and smirks, almost. You're not entirely sure whether or not this person's gone a bit delirious. And then suddenly whacks the other arm over to the freed arm over to the staked arm, pulls the stake out of the ground, rips the other two stakes out from the feet, stands up and runs to attack you with a stake. What do you do? Not only have you freed him, you've given him 4 weapons. Yeah, Boris was right. A foot probably would have been better. Look, this guy has been out who knows how long, has almost certainly lost their mind, and just wants to take it out on someone. Nice isn't always the best thing in the Forest of Doom. Oh yeah, I should probably actually vote. Okay, new vote. Should pop up in a second. Why does it take longer sometimes than it does others? Okay, I'll start a new one. Is that gonna work? Yeah, there we go. Cool. I'm gonna do a quick doodle. What page is this? This is 180 that we came off the path. Keep track of these things. That's 5. Okay, so this is 384. Now 128. Cool. I mean, you do also have to remember that this barbarian is incredibly sunburnt, and you know how angry you get when you get sunburnt? It's just so, why has this happened to me? On top of that, they have been staked to the ground and left to die. So it's just doubly bad, you know? Why does everyone end up having the same hair when I draw? I don't know. Okay, you can have something a bit scragglier. A bit longer. That's not what feet look like, is it? Don't know why I started singing that. Also, one thing I quite like about this is when you guys embellish the choices that are made in the book. Because in the book it was literally, do you want to leave or do you want to cut him free? We slowly, tentatively got our way towards that, and I had to improvise to give you the illusion of choice. Well, I did actually give you choice. So far, you have definitely not done anything the book told you to. So that's cool. I like that. It's kind of got like a kind of dad bod sort of thing going on. I'm spending a lot of time drawing something that almost certainly you guys have decided you just want to run away from. I'm sure this is very interesting. There's a sunburn. Sunburn everywhere. Sun much so burn. What? You don't seem very happy about this. This is the one you cut. So the left hand. Yeah, you get the idea. The barbarian probably doesn't have very good teeth. I'm being very mean to barbarians here. It's the other problem with this this type of stream is I want to get stuff done quickly, but to do stuff quickly I have to not look at chat, so I have no idea what you're saying. Oh, you're gonna have a chat, Kiro. Have a wonderful time. You haven't been able to keep up with the story at all. We headed north and we saved a barbarian. That's basically it. But yes, have sleep. Look after yourself. You are more important than a stupid story in which Pal is too nice for the Forest of Doom. Also, while I'm here... because the letter A is symmetrical. We can have that. And we can have that. Or maybe the Forest of Doom is too mean? Probably. I mean, it's called the Forest of Doom. I don't know what you expected. I like the choir music in the background. It's like, is this the R we're hearing? We are a naive child. Yes, indeed. Right, what are the votes? We have 3 for hide in tall grass, 1 for subdue with sick ninja skills, 1 for smack sunburns. Ooh, that just might make them more angry. 1 for roll between legs and stab the bastard in the asshole. Can I scroll up in chat so you wrote that? And 1 for evade contact and try talking sense. Okay, so it seems generally speaking... yeah, there's 4 votes for try not to fight. So we're going to go for that. In terms of combat and non-combat, 4 are for non-combat. Did that change? No. You expected that we'd be able to make some friends? You might. It's not impossible. It's just you're going into a forest. It's not all going to be sunshine and roses. vote mini beef. Mini beef is an option now. Is that the naive child, is it? So yeah, Pal runs back into the grass. Fortunately, Pal is very small, so this works quite well. And just sort of hides away for a bit. This guy is just stomping around, screaming the head off, just swinging around these stakes like a flail, just whipping them through the grass. Luckily, Pal's managed to sort of dodge out of the way. Maybe Pal does try and say something, but every time Pal tries to calm him down with words, that just allows the barbarian to focus in on his location and start swinging even more. Eventually, Pal thinks it's a good idea just to try and lay low. And eventually the barbarian just stops off and you can hear him just screaming over the horizon off elsewhere, presumably to try and get back at the people who tied him down in the first place. Good luck to them. Pal decides to return to where the staked barbarian was sitting, or laying down, or being staked. I don't exactly know what the verb is that we need to use here. Where are we? And finds basically nothing of value. I mean, it's unsurprising that you wouldn't find anything of value, because this person was staked to the ground against their will. They're not going to leave their sword next to them, are they? So yeah, it's just nothing there, really. It was just a barbarian left to die. Do you want to go north? You have a moral victory? I mean, theoretically, you got a moral victory against whoever did that to that person. But then again, you don't know what the barbarian did to deserve it. Again, so he was the angry barbarian friend on the map. I think the best way of explaining this is... Right, so now we return back to the initial north-south cutting through the long grass. Would you like to continue going north, or would you like to go back somewhere? Let's refresh the vote. Yeah, sometimes the vote just doesn't refresh. It's very strange. It's Pal. Just zoom in on the happy Pal. I do like the actual expression in the book, which is, well, that's the last time you're going to do anybody a favour for some time. That kind of makes sense, I suppose. Be slightly indignant. Okay, makes sense. Nope, we're done more favours. Fair enough. Naivete. Seems like we want to carry on north. Yeah, okay, we carry on north. Continue north. Okay, cool. Continue north. Right. As you head north to... What page is it? 390? 272. No, 394. I am keeping track of all these, trust me. You continue through the very, 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 very long grass. But as you continue, the ground starts to go up again. You were in a little valley, but now you're starting to rise again. And as you rise, the height of the grass begins to fall, and soon you're out of the very tall grass. Off to the other side, which Pal is very pleased with, because they probably have hay fever. And as you start to go up a little bit, the ground levels out, and you start to hear the sound of running water off in the distance. Soon, Pal reaches a bank of a very slow-flowing river. The river is very shallow, but there are stepping stones across it, over to the other side. And the path continues north. And I know you like north, so yeah, what do you want to do? You found a river. It's very shallow. There are stepping stones. Do you want to cross it, and if so, how? Or do you want to go back somewhere else? Hang on. Let the vote catch up. Is it not gonna work? Sometimes it just doesn't work. And there we go. Vote's back up. Right, let's draw Pal at a river. Yeah, what was the thing? 3-9 something. Sorry about my very squeaky chair. I do need to oil it. And given that I'm moving between books and pencils and screens. $3.94. Cool. Let's just mark this on the map briefly. Slow for extreme. Some stepping stones across it. 3, 9, 4. That's probably a bit wider than that. But who knows? That's what stepping stones look like, yeah? I don't really know Pal's relationship with water. I personally hate having my head underwater. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't like doing it in the shower, swimming pool, whatever. Just I'd rather not put my head in a place where if I were to breathe, which is something I do without thinking, I will die. It's a control thing, I'm sure. I don't think we're going to lose this helmet anytime soon, so I'm going to have to get used to drawing it. This isn't how perspective works either, but forgive me. Three hands. that neck. I'm not even saying anything. These are getting less entertaining as time goes by. What are we doing? Never forget to stock up on water when you have the chance, is what you're saying. I think you probably don't have to worry too much about water, but you're more than welcome to grab a bottle of water. I'm sure you have a canteen. You do have a canteen because you used it to help Big Leg before they died. So it might not be the most sanitary canteen, but you have one. What have we got? We have fill empty plant potion bottle with water before wading through river, for 2. We have skip across the stones, slip and drown in river. If 2 people voted for that, that would have to be the thing we do. Cross that river because we've come to it. I like. Talk a nice walk upstream in the hopes of seeing a waterfall. Take a nice walk, yes. Or cross normally. Okay, so I actually was just reading those without taking stock of what we're doing. People generally seem to be going for wading, yeah? So basically everyone seems to be fine that we want to cross. Skip across stones. Yeah, everyone seems to think we're going to wade rather than take the stones. It does seem a little strange that there are stepping stones in what is quite a shallow river, or what seems to be quite a shallow river. That carries off into the distance. Perspective, that's how it works. Right, so where are we? We're here. What was your one try? I'll skip across stones and drown. Fair enough. Unless you are in a minority. What do we do? What do we do? We do. Cool. Okay, so Pal considers it a bit odd that there would be stepping stones in a relatively shallow and relatively slow-moving body of water, so they just wade through after filling up their flask with water and the empty plant potion bottle with water, because it's always good to have water, you know. And they begin to wade through, but as they're starting to wade through, the water gets very muddy. It's clearly not a solid bottom to the river. And it's not very deep. You can wade through relatively straightforward. But as you start getting out to the middle of it, it's about up to sort of chest height-ish. Not fast flowing. Again, the river itself is not paying a particular issue. But all of a sudden you feel this sharp spike in the side of your ribs. Some teeth sinking their way in there. And now Pal suddenly starts to work out exactly what's happening here. The reason there are stepping stones is because things live in the river. You reach down and pull something out. You don't actually manage to pull it out itself. You only manage to pull the bottom of it out. It's a blood eel. And it's stuck on your leg. What do you want to do? Do you want to... You're told to skip on the stones and then drown? Thing is, if you skipped on the stones, slipped, and then fell headfirst in, you might get a blood eel on the face, which is not ideal. What was this? This was like 394 or something like that. Is 186. Oh yeah, I've got to start the vote, haven't I? Sorry. Yeah. Kiss me blood eel. What? That's close to a tentacle. It's a creature that doesn't have tentacles. It is a tentacle. Yes, alas, your enchanted helmet could not do much to defend you against an eel in the side. No matter how many pairs of metal ears are on the helmet. Does look like a tiara here. It's a helmet, trust me. They're squidgier, them eels. Oh, wrong way, sorry. What do we got going? It's our first Pokemon. Can we keep it? Right. What do we got? Continue wading, but faster. Okay. Yeet self from river. Blood eel pawn. Not drawing that. Stab the absolute shit out of the blood eel. Or bite the eel back. That sounds like it would be very messy. There's one vote for each, to be honest. I've got to try and decipher what we're doing here. What have we got? Continue waiting but faster, so kind of try and run. This seems like an encounter you're not exactly going to be able to run away from. Yeet self from river. Again, sort of running. Blood eel pawn, stab the absolute shit out of the blood eel. Bite the eel back. So we've got 2 for fight back, 2 for jump out. Let's combine the 2 into 1, shall we? Hang on, let me go to... Let me just check to see that my plan will not interfere with what's actually happening. Oh no, okay, literally nothing, that's fine. Right, so the blood eel, you run to the other edge of the bank. Or rather... Pal decides to run to the other edge of the bank as fast as you can for a small thing. Luckily, you don't get attacked by any more blood eels. But the thing's not letting go. And it's sucking more blood out of you, and you're getting weaker and weaker. So you've got to... Unfortunately, you've got to try and get rid of this thing. So Pal pulls out their sword and tries to hack at it before it can do too much damage. So let's see how much damage it does, because we are actually in our first fight. Believe it or not, it's been a while. So how does this work? Does anybody here actually know how the fighting in this game works? Because it would be nice in future. It would be nice that someone else could do the fighting in chat while I do drawing, so it sort of wastes a bit less time. Kiss it so you surprise it and loosen its grip. I mean, there's a chance it will just grab onto your mouth, yeah? You want me to Google it? I know how it works. I'm just saying it would be nice if someone else could do it while I was drawing, and then, you know. Because you have access to the rollings, the dice system, don't you? So, I mean, it should be fine. The eel, now that you're on dry land, the eel is a little bit out of its element. So you are stronger than it, and it doesn't have very much health. But it is draining you quite quickly. It's a large thing, and you're quite a small thing. So, what if you kiss it upon its smooth head and it goes? Oh, I don't think it's going to do that. Clickety clack. Ah, you didn't get a natural 69. I can't believe you got a natural 69 the first time you tried it. Oh, was that Crow? I think that might have been Crow. 46 damage. We don't have 69 skill, alas. But and that's also not how it works. So the way, let me explain how combat works, because I have yet to explain it. The way it works is you have a skill value, and the enemy has a skill value. Whatever it is. You then roll some dice. And then add them all up. And whoever has the biggest number at the end, out of all of this and all of this, they are the one who deals damage. They will deal 2 damage. However, you can also test your luck at any given point. If you get lucky, you can deal double damage. If you get unlucky, you can deal half damage. Don't roll a D1 100,000. And yeah, you just keep doing that until one of you has no health left. It's pretty straightforward, generally speaking, but it kind of does take time. We currently have... What do we have? Functionally, we have 9 skill because we got the special hat. And the eel, I think, has 5. Yeah. So what dice do we roll? We roll 2d6, if I recall. Or is it 1d? I might be... Yeah, I think it's 2d6. 2d6 for us and then 2d6 for the eel. And we keep doing that, adding them up. Pretty sure how that works. That's how it works, yeah? Yeah, basically. It's a very simple system. Okay, so we've got 2d6 there, so that's 4 and 6. So we've got 10, so that's 19 for us. Versus 11, so that's 16. So cool. So we deal damage to the eel, which is unsurprising given that we are the one who has the sword. And basically we hit it in such a way that it flinches and doesn't deal damage to us. It doesn't suck our blood out, as it were. So that's good. How much health does the eel have? The eel only has 4 stamina, so that's now down to 2. Our stamina is 19, so we're probably going to survive this. So that's how it works. Yeah, so we roll 10, so our total attack skill is 19, because we have 8 on our skill, 1 for the hat and 10 for our roll, if that makes sense. And the skill for the eel is 5. We rolled an 11 in chat. Ragdoll rolled an 11, so we add 11 to that to get 16. 19's bigger than 16, so we deal damage this turn. That's how it works. Damage counts as 2, unless of course we want to increase that by testing our luck, or decrease it if we're unlucky. Our luck being 6 at the moment, we'd have to roll under a 6 with 2d6 in order to be lucky. And it also takes away from our luck, so... or we can carry on, that's fine. Base damage is 2, yes. So we always do 2 damage with an attack, unless otherwise stated, because our sword is 2. So what's that? We have 7 here, so 7 plus 9 is 16, versus 11 again. 5 plus 11 is 16. That's a draw. All score draw. It bites into us just as we hit it, so it doesn't suck any blood out because we managed to hit it, but at the same time we didn't do any damage because we were flinching while we were attacking. So all score draw, 1 more, hopefully. We can lose health here, who knows. So yeah, 2 more sets of d6s, 2 more sets of pairs of d6s, if that makes sense. Oh, there we are, perfect. 4 and 5 is a 9 and 18, and then a 6 here is 11. So again, we attack. We slice the thing in twain, thusly wise. Let's draw the sword. And it eventually lets go. We don't get our blood back, unfortunately, but generally speaking, we managed to get it out before it could do any serious damage. It hasn't affected our movement or anything like that, or our ability to fight. You know, it's something we can shrug off relatively easily. Pals had worse. Pals had worse than this. We haven't really discussed what Pal's weapon is, to be honest. We've just said sort of generally sword, but I'm more than willing to change that. But we got out of that relatively unscathed, I think. Yeah. Bread with the eel? I mean, you could try and take the eel as provisions. It is a blood eel, so it might be a little bit irony. You probably have to dry it out a bit. Tell you what, I'll say you can take the eel with you, but you can only turn it into a provision once you find a fire. I think that's fair enough, yeah? Because otherwise it'll be far too irony and you might end up poisoning yourself with blood. Which is the thing you can do. I can't remember. I don't think it is iron. I think it's something else. But the meat is too rich. But yes, you can take it as a provisional provision. So I need to do the thing. So let's turn it into an item, shall we? It's also not sushi grade. No, it's not. It's not going to be good. But it can be nutritious at the very least. You know, it's not a... Well, I don't know, actually. It is something that feeds on blood, so maybe it might not be great. Who knows? Protein. Might be some good protein. It'll keep you going. Should be fine. Right, so I need to find the thing because it's not there because I'm an idiot. Here. Boom. Let's draw an eel. We're ending this in the same way that we ended the the last stream, which is drawing the item we just picked up. So this is basically for the purposes of, you know, getting a provision later on. If we do find some sort of fire with which to dry it out and make it less toxic. Also, just in case anything does happen to your sword, you also need your sword in order to do that. I think that's fair enough. Some sort of cutting implement. There we go. Item, wet bloody blood eel filled with our blood. Yeah, it didn't get a lot of our blood because obviously it didn't. We managed to attack it before it managed to cause significant damage, so we didn't lose a significant amount of blood. That's fine. What happened there? Have I mentioned that I haven't drawn today? I do also have 0 smoothing, which I have extremely unsteady hands. I don't know if you know this. When I was doing the pencil drawings for Octo and Kiro and Mrs. Recent book purchases, I realised just how unsteady my hands are. I am so reliant on smoothing in these programs. I've always had shaky hands. It's not a... I definitely went through a period during my health anxiety of Parkinson's. Is it Parkinson's? Who knows? But then I have literally none of the other symptoms, so it's fine. Um, anyone else have health anxiety? It's bloody awful. Same for the shaky hands. Yeah, it's just, yeah, very annoying. I think it's hereditary. I seem to remember going to one of my sort of particularly old relatives, possibly great-grandmother or something like that, and they had very shaky hands, and I was like, oh, it's hereditary. But then thinking back, it's probably because they were old. Steady lines are not your forte. This is why I like this brush, because it's kind of rough as it is. Even if you're doing a straight line, it's nice and rough. It's the crispy brush. Your family has hereditary tremor that you get to look forward to. Ooh. Colour the eel. Let's colour that eel. That's a weird catchphrase. Colour that eel. What colour is it going to be? It's a blood eel, so it should probably be red. Or it could be something different. I mean, we'll get the insides red, because why not? Then it's not a bone in the middle, obviously. It's an eel, so that's just a sort of bit of gut. So a slightly lighter gut. Also blood around here. Or red, I should say. Oh yes, I may attempt next week to do this in Clip Studio Paint instead of Photoshop, because I want to try and get used to it. Burgundy. Could do a nice burgundy. I always get confused as to what burgundy is. I thought burgundy was just sort of like a dark red, but apparently it's a bit purple, something like that. All these terms, I don't know the terminology, don't you know? Is that burgundy? You know nothing about eels. I don't know anything about eels either. We have a pet. Yes, it may be in two halves, but we have a pet. Supposed to be a bit light for burgundy here. What dead pet reminds me of something. What does it remind me of? Somebody who had a dead pet. That doesn't look right at all. I can make that pop in shading. That's fine. It blends in now, but trust me, I think I know what I'm doing. Some more blood. There's some more blood around here, but it's its own blood this time. Blood. Okay. Let's get some shading in. We can make this a bit brighter. Contrast a bit. Oop, look at that. Blow that colour out. Photoshop. There we are. Right here. Let's do. Some of this. Let's do some of that. Won't that? That's what I'm gonna do. Oh, it's getting very windy. Pet cemetery? Nah. I mean, that would make sense. First screen, the squirrel helmet of balling snap. I can't remember what it was. Second stream, bloodied eel halves. To be honest, I'm good. The book certainly doesn't tell you that you should have this, but it makes sense. Again, improvisation. It's always fun. That's why I'm doing these streams, because you guys are just fun to make stuff up with. Cool. Now let's turn this down quite a lot. That doesn't make any sense. Whoops. Oddly enough, I have relatively the same sort of setup for doing wet, slimy things as I do for metal. Sort of odd, you get those sort of back reflections and stuff. It's quite nice. None of this is going to show up on the final picture because it's going to be like 20 pixels square, but you get the idea anyway. Right, and let's just do something to the line art, just to make it less dull. That. What is metal but wet rock? I mean, you have to smelt it, so maybe it's warm? It's sweating a bit? Who knows? Let's get something like that. For the toofs. I'm really getting into coloured line art recently. Can't remember what started it, but... Oh, the stickers started it, yeah. They should be here soon, tomorrow, in fact. I'll let you know, and hopefully they're good quality, and then we can start doing stuff with them. That's too light. And by doing stuff, I mean, you know, getting them sent out. I think that'll do. Dead eel. Stimkers, yes. So yeah, I'll definitely post pictures and stuff, and let you know, and then we can get stuff. Hopefully by the beginning of next week, we can have them for sale. Hopefully not too many people want them, otherwise I'm gonna have to order more. But yeah, here's an eel. Gonna call this Ping. A blood eel. Because that's what it is. And then I'm going to add it to our inventory. Like this. And then refresh. There it is. It's in there. It's difficult to tell what it is, but it's in there. Right. I'm glad I set up this system to be automated. Automated or automatic. Regardless of which way you wish to pronounce it. Right, so we killed the eel, and we got some possible provisions for the future. Used an item, gained an item, yes. Yes, we used the mystical potion of plant control that allows us to have dominion over anything from the plant kingdom, and instead we got a dead eel. Perfect trade. Right, but we still have our cool helmet. Right, what happens next? That is a good question. What were we on? 186. Okie dokie, so yes, you... I like the description in the book, though. It says, you feel the blood eel, you draw your sword and start to stab in the water. That's the description of the combat. Stab at the water. Gah! I at least had the tail sticking out. Meanwhile, Big Tree is killing people in town we sent it to. Yeah, we don't know how long the potion lasts. Hopefully we manage to convince it to actually turn its life around, but who knows? I'll have to remember that. Right. Cool. So we win. We can move on. Oh, thank God for that. I read the wrong one, and I was like, where did that come from? Oh, really? Okay, that might... Okay. Should have read ahead. Probably would have made sense to do that. Right. Okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to carry on forwards? Or do you wish to, return from whence thee came? Possibly go back and find a fire. I will set up the voting again. I probably should have done this before. Whence? I will change the font. I promise. Back into the water. It lasted exactly until getting to the village. Because we had bad luck, that is true, yes. We didn't lose any stamina in that fight, so that's pretty good. The one thing I will say about this game is that because of the way the combat system works, if you're fighting something with more skill than you, even slightly more skill, you're going to take exponentially more damage. It's very strange because it just increases the percentage of, in terms of probability, the percentage of number of combat encounters are lost by you. So it's kind of, if you come across something with a lot of skill, probably worth running away. So yeah, where to? Let me update the map. Here there be eels. Oops. Oh yeah, I changed all my things, didn't I? Let me get my nice pencil brush, which I have almost managed to emulate in Clip. We have one vote as to what to do next. I mean, it's actually the end of the stream, probably. We've got 2 minutes. So we can do something quickly. We can carry on. So the path continues north, not to the edge of the forest. I don't think we're this far along. We may have to extend this map a little bit. Again, you decided to just carry on forwards. North was your word of the day. Hang on, I just want to read ahead to make sure I know what's happening. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Cool. Right. What are we doing? Carry On has 1 vote. Light River on Fire has 1. Slightly difficult. Particularly given that you have no fire-making equipment. Short Rest is 1. I Want to Reach the North Pole, though, has 1. Always North, 1. The North Remembers, 1. I assume that's a Game of Thrones thing. I finally don't have to worry about not knowing anything about Game of Thrones, because it's done. It's the only thing I do know, is it's done. I need to oil this chair, I really do. Okay, so this is actually a good time to think, because we've been travelling for a while. We've travelled very far north. We've gone through forests and fields and all these sorts of things. And now you're drenched with water and blood. And you really want to just stop for a bit. Indeed, one of the votes was for Short Rest. So you decided to walk north until you find some shelter under a few trees. Love almost finishing a picture and realizing you haven't saved once. Ooh, scary, isn't it? Always save. Always try and save. But well done for almost finishing and it not crashing. And you actually noticing. you got there eventually, yeah. A lot of these programs do tend to have an autosave feature in the background. So yes, you continue north for a little bit. And you start to make your way into the hills, but it's getting dark. You're drenched and tired, and you've been hiding from barbarians. You've been doing a lot of things, a lot of running, a lot of physical work. You decide to hunker down for the night, set up camp. You unfortunately don't have the wherewithal to make a fire, but nonetheless, you get out your sheepskin blanket and settle down for the evening for a little rest. And that's where we're going to leave it for the day. Let me just write down the page number of that. By the way, I didn't make that up. This is actually in the book. So, yeah. So you we end today on the end of Pal's first day of adventuring in the forest, which is quite nice. Cool. So we're gonna rest under a tree. Pal's gonna be here. He's probably gonna play the recorder for a bit. Sheepskin blanket. Helmet. It's getting a bit of a mess. Actually, we'll take the helmet off just to sleep. And I think this is 131, so I know where we are. To continue next time. Yeah, there we are. Oh yeah, I forgot I had that system. I forgot I had the joke thing going on. I wrote those ages ago. Yeah, I have a system in my bot where I have a list of jokes that I wrote like 10 years ago. So you can get a joke if you just type !joke. I've probably only mentioned it once, like 6 months ago, but Boris remembered. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming along. It's been a nice sort of day. Nice day adventuring with Pal. Boris knows all, yes. By the way, they're not good jokes. Just want to point that out. Forest of Doom. It's getting there. You're getting there. You're getting north, certainly. You've made some friends and some enemies. You made some enemies into friends and some seemingly friends into enemies. And then killed an eel. So that's fun. Saturday, we continue with XCOM. I might, given that it's not a sleepover society thing, I might start an hour early. Maybe, so that we might speed things along a little bit, because the stream, I don't get very much done in those streams. So yeah, that would be you cry at these jokes. They're not, I never said they were good. I haven't looked at them for ages. Some of them might be embarrassing. Anyway, I can turn off my bot now. So you can't get any more. But yeah. Yes, we have XCOM on Saturday. We have a wildcard on Sunday. I have been literally preparing all afternoon for the wildcard. So hopefully you enjoy that. I've been programming for the purposes of the wildcard. So yeah, that should be fun. I finally worked it out. I was banging my head against the programming on Monday, but I finally sorted it out now. Should be good. Should like it, hopefully. It's relevant in certain ways. But yeah, before that, we have XCOM on Saturday, and we have a couple of days in which I need to get on with actual work. So I'm behind on things. Again, there won't be a Foggate comic this week because Ornstein and Smoes is twice as long as everyone else's, and I am behind as it is. So I will probably release the Outliers comic that I keep forgetting to release. Is it me, or is that C in wildcard look strange? That's odd. But yeah, and we continue this next week, next Wednesday. Pal's adventures having been bitten by an eel. Have a wonderful time, everybody. Thank you for coming along. It's always fun. Just completely deviating from the plot of the book. What I might do in future is get the book, write down the basic plot outline of everything, and then just abandon the book. And just ask you, hey, what just follow you through this story. Glad you stayed awake. Great stream. Thank you for staying awake. But again, don't do things that are to personal detriment for the purposes of a stream. But it's nice for you to be here. Again, apologies for time zones. Yeah. Yes, do a sleep. Sleep. Look after yourself. We always want friends to be looked after. Hello to all the VOD people who are watching. The VOD crows and the VOD misses. It was gonna. I thought it was gonna be VOD Oobs, but Oobs is here, so yeah. I think there's something else I wanted to say, but no. We're all done. The honk doesn't work. Crispy Goose works as long as you have Better Twitch TV. If you don't have Better Twitch TV, just given that a bunch of people are here, and I haven't mentioned it for a while, there's an extension you can get for your browser called Better Twitch TV, and it allows me to have 5 emotes free that everyone can use regardless of whether they're subscribed. Crispy Goose is honk here. There's some others as well. We've got Mini Beef is one. I think Stoic, Crispy Grin, and can't remember what the other one is. Oh, Frame Man. Yes, haven't needed to use that for a while. As well as some others like Pika O and Ditto. Ditto's a good one. Sorry, I'm just blathering at this point. I do that. Thank you for coming along. I do like seeing all the I don't want to say new faces, but sort of uncommon faces in chat during these streams. It's nice that I've sort of finally found something that people can sort of get involved with and have fun being interactive, you know? Yeah, VOD peeps. Hearts out to VOD peeps. Yeah. Have a wonderful time, everybody. I need to cool down slightly. It has actually been cooler today, but I have now sat in a room for 2 hours with the windows closed, so yeah. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you for coming to the stream. Thank you for making these fun, as ever. And getting an eel, as you have. Heart to the waffle? That sounds like a weird thing that would exist in the middle of an 80s rap. And you go, hang on, what? Heart to the waffle? Huh? Enjoy yourselves. Have a wonderful time. I'll see you on Saturday for XCOM, if indeed that is something you wish to come along to. If not, I'll see you at some point in the future. And enjoy your time until then and thereafter. Have a wonderful time, everybody. Be kind to yourselves and to each other. Goodbye.